looks on the other end. Angel Reese turns and looks. You guys don't look away.
Yeah, I think the three-point record is cool, and I think it just speaks to the way we play offense and the way we've been playing offense, especially as of late, like just fast up-tempo.
And Reese breaking up that pass. Kennedy Carter feeds Angel Reese. Can't finish.
Imagine this. You're a WNBA rookie sensation, but instead of dominating on the court, you're launching podcasts and fashion lines. That's Angel Reese right now. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is breaking records left and right. What's going on with these two stars? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Let's talk about the crazy contrast here. Reese is making waves off the court, but her team's struggling without her. Clark, she's lighting up the scoreboard and making history. It's like they're playing two different games. You know what's crazier? There's more to this story than meets the eye. Reese dropped some shocking news about an injury on her podcast. And Clark, she's doing something no WNBA player has ever done before. We're about to dive into all the drama, the records, and the real reasons behind what's happening with these two rookies. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Remember when Reese was unstoppable on the court? Well, her latest reveal has fans divided. Is she really injured, or is there something else keeping her off the hardwood? The answer might surprise you. Angel Reese dropped a bombshell on her podcast, revealing a wrist injury that's kept her sidelined. She said, "I fell on my hand. It is a small crack in my bone." Sounds serious, right? But here's where things get interesting. Fans are questioning if this injury is legit or just an excuse to focus on her off-court projects.
We were switching well, contesting shots, and rebounding and getting stops at the end were the reasons we won.
Tickets are going like blazes in Indiana. Have you heard that rumor?
I have heard that rumor. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think they're selling pretty well.
Let's talk about what's happening with the Chicago Sky while Reese is out. They're on a 7-game losing streak. That's rough. Teammate Camila Cardoso even called a recent loss embarrassing. Ouch! It's clear the team is struggling without their star player. But there's more to this story. Reese made a comment that's got everyone talking. She said she'd rather be rich than famous. Now fans are wondering, is basketball really her top priority? Is she more focused on building her brand than helping her team win? You've got to wonder what's going through Reese's mind right now. She's facing a tough choice. Focus on her health and personal brand, or get back on the court to help her struggling team. It's not an easy decision, especially for a rookie under the spotlight. Think about it. If you were in Reese's shoes, what would you do? Prioritize your long-term career and health, or rush back to help your team? It's a dilemma that's got fans and analysts buzzing. This situation is shining a light on the pressures WNBA players face. They're not just athletes, they're brands, influencers, and role models. Balancing all that with the demands of professional basketball, it's not as easy as it looks from the outside. Reese's story is far from over. As she navigates this injury and the controversy surrounding it, all eyes are on her next move. Will she come back stronger and silence the doubters? Or will this be a turning point in her career, shifting her focus away from the court? While Reese's future hangs in the balance, another WNBA star is rewriting the record books. Caitlin Clark's doing something that's never been seen before in the league. What if I told you her impact goes beyond just stats? Let's talk about Clark's historic achievement. She's become the first player in WNBA history to score over 700 points and dish out more than 300 assists in a single season. That's insane. We're not just talking about breaking records here, we're talking about shattering them. But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's not just changing the game on the court, she's transforming the entire WNBA landscape. The Indiana Fever, they've seen their attendance skyrocket. We're talking about a nearly 3-fold increase compared to last season. That's not just a bump, that's a seismic shift in fan engagement. You know what's even crazier? Clark's matches are pulling an NFL level viewership.
Ever All-Star game come on an offensive board, leads the WNBA in that category. Well done, rookie.
I wrote down on a piece of paper when I was in like 2nd grade, like get a basketball scholarship, play in the WNBA. Like this is always something I wanted to do.
Yeah, you heard that right. A rookie in the WNBA is competing with one of America's most popular sports leagues for eyeballs. That's the kind of box office appeal that can change the game for women's basketball. But let's not forget about Clark's character. Despite the intense rivalry with Angel Reese, Clark's showing us what true sportsmanship looks like. She actually praised Reese, saying, "I thought she had a tremendous year." That's class, folks. It's not just about how you play, it's about how you carry yourself off the court too. And Clark's not done yet. As of now, she's on track to break the all-time assist record. It's like every time she steps on the court, she's rewriting the history books. But what sets Clark apart isn't just her individual brilliance. It's her ability to elevate her teammates and bring joy to the game. That's why fans can't get enough of her. And think about it. While some players are getting caught up in off-court drama, Clark's laser focused on her game. She's not letting distractions get in her way, and the results? They speak for themselves. Her success isn't just personal, it's lifting the entire league. Clark may be focused on her game, but for some players, the off-court drama is turning into a nightmare. Ever wonder what happens when fan rivalry goes too far? Angel Reese's latest revelation will make your jaw drop. You thought the rivalry between Reese and Clark was just about basketball? Think again. Reese just dropped a bombshell that's shaking up the WNBA world. She's facing harassment that's way beyond trash talk or mean tweets. Reese spilled the beans on her podcast, and it's not pretty. She said, "People have come down to my address. They have sent AI-generated nude images of me to my family members." Can you imagine dealing with that kind of abuse? It's not just crossing a line, it's obliterating it. But here's the kicker, Reese isn't blaming Clark for this mess. She actually said there's no hate between them. Reese even called Clark an amazing player. That's some serious sportsmanship in the face of ugly fan behavior. This isn't just about Reese though. She hinted that other players are dealing with similar stuff. It's like there's this dark underbelly to women's basketball that nobody's talking about. Until now. You've gotta wonder, how does this affect the players? Reese is tough, but constant harassment, death threats, being followed home. That's enough to mess with anyone's head. And it's not just about performance on the court. We're talking about these athletes' mental health and personal safety. Here's where it gets really messed up. Reese pointed out that some of this harassment has a racist edge to it.
On the court, I'm very competitive. I'm super competitive when it comes between the lines. I work really hard, but when off the court, we can have a good time.
I think that's like the reason you do it, and just to see them scream your name or have your jersey on, that's something that never gets old.
It's 2023, and we're still dealing with this garbage in sports? Come on, people. But let's zoom out for a second. This whole situation is shining a light on a bigger problem in sports fandom. When does support for your favorite player turn into something toxic? At what point does rivalry become dangerous? Reese's story is a wake-up call. It's easy to forget that these players are real people with real feelings. They're not just characters in some sports drama we're watching. They've got families, lives outside of basketball, and they deserve basic respect. So what's the deal with Reese and Clark? It's like they're playing two different games in the same league. Reese is building her brand off court while Clark's breaking records left and right. But here's the thing, both paths are shaking up the WNBA in their own way. Think about it. Can the league grow if everyone plays the same game? Maybe there's room for different styles, both on and off the court, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. These players are dealing with crazy pressure, from injuries to harassment. Here's the real question. How can we support these athletes without crossing line? Remember, they're not just players, they're people. Whether they're podcast stars or record breakers, they're all trying to make it in a tough world. Maybe it's time we cut them some slack and appreciate the different ways they're changing the game.